Welcome back to Effortless Cooking, where we make cooking effortless. And in today's video, we're going to be braising a brisket for some delicious brisket tacos. Now, don't worry, braising is just a fancy word for cooking with liquid. That's really what's gonna help tenderize and make this meat nice and soft. Now guys, before we get into it, I would greatly appreciate it if you guys subscribe down below, like this video, and share. Now let's get into making our rub. I got some garlic powder, some smoky paprika, I got some black pepper, which I actually like to freshly crack. I feel like it just makes a difference. Some cayenne pepper, some chili powder. By the way, I left exactly the amount you'll need of each of these in the description down below, so don't worry. And here I got some brown sugar. Now the brown sugar is gonna help create this caramelization on the outside. It's gonna lock in the flavors, and it's just all around gonna give it a great flavor. Now, before I start the cooking process, I actually like to prep my onions as well as my garlic. And big chunks is exactly what you want. You don't have to be fancy schmancy, you don't know dicing. The bigger the pieces, the better, because it's just gonna be there to give flavor to the sauce. And you're going to want to use about half an onion, and I used, I believe, 12 or 10 garlic cloves. So with your knife, you're just gonna want to score the meat, and that's just so the meat doesn't buckle. And then just put that to the side. I'm gonna start rubbing down all the seasoning to the brisket. Now you want to make sure you coat every single side. All right, don't be a loser putting a little bit here, a little bit there. All right, don't be a square. All right, don't be stingy. Show the love. Hey, even the little brisket piece of meat needs love too. Okay, don't be a hater. Now I'm gonna let the brisket sit for about 15-20 minutes just so it can sit in the seasoning. And while that's sitting, I'm gonna prepare some pickled onions. And these onions I just created off a whim. You know, one day my mom wanted something like this and she put me on, and ever since then I've been making this. And this to me is like the perfect balance to these tacos. The tacos have like a sweet, it's hard to explain, like savory flavor, and these onions is gonna set it off right. Now to make the onions, just literally one lime, thinly sliced red onion, and some freshly cracked black pepper. Give that sucker a mix and you're ready to go. And I actually let these sit as well, probably about 20-30 minutes. I mean, you're gonna be cooking the brisket for a few hours anyway, so just might as well let that sit in the fridge. Now in a nice hot cast iron, put some oil of your choice, and the only thing we're gonna do here is sear the meat, meaning we're gonna get a nice crust on the outside just to develop the color, so when you take the meat out, it doesn't look all dry and bland. And this process here is specifically just for that. So don't worry about cooking it down. Don't worry if it's still pink in the middle. We're not done yet. Now, I want to get into some a little bit about this particular subject, and it's cooking something like this. Don't think just because it's a big piece of meat and you've never done it before and you feel intimidated, don't think you can't do it. This is literally as simple as searing the piece of brisket and literally just setting the temperature on low. All right, so let's get back into the video. Now I took out the piece of brisket, I threw in my onions, I threw in my cloves of garlic, and I just let them like semi-saute just a little bit, maybe about 1 or 2 minutes. And I actually mixed in some Worcestershire sauce just to release the bottom yum-yums from the pan and give those onions a little bit of extra flavor. Now when you have that done, I am going to add the liquid. Now this is vegetable stock. You can add any kind of stock. Beef stock, chicken stock will work just fine. But me, I prefer the vegetable stock. And this is what braising is. You see how simple it was? It wasn't hard at all, right? Simple as hell. And braising just literally means cooking in liquid. Now, we're gonna wanna baste the brisket every hour, all right? We're gonna set the oven to 250 degrees and cook it for 5 to 6 hours. Every hour, making sure you unravel the foil and making sure you're basting every hour.
A few moments later.
Put the broiler on, scrape off the onions, and this is exactly what you're gonna get. A nice, soft, tender, I mean, just look at that. Look at it's jiggling, and it's still so moist and juicy. I gotta cut this up. So I like to actually cut it up into nice thin slices. And this brisket here, I'm actually going to be showing you another recipe, which I'm actually gonna leave in the description down below. So guys, make sure you stay tuned because it's gonna be an amazing recipe that you will love, that I'm pretty sure most of you guys never had. And this brisket, you can literally serve it however you want. You can serve it just like this by ladling a little bit of that gravy. Slow-mo. Yeah, I had to hit you with the slow-mo. I actually died when I put that slow motion in there. It made me like literally laugh. But yeah, you can serve this up just as it is. Or what I'm gonna do, since it's already so tender, you really just have to run your knife through it. It's literally effortless. I mean, it's all gonna just like basically fall apart. It's just so soft and so tender. And I just ladle on some of the little sauce though from the pan. It kind of like a barbecue sauce almost. So scrape that to the side. Get your tortillas ready. I'm actually using yellow corn tortillas. Any tortillas will work fine. Flour tortillas are also good. But I'm using yellow corn tortillas, which I actually recommend. I use a special kind that I actually found on Amazon. So if you guys want, I'll leave the link in the description down below. I'm also gonna leave a description down below for my awesome large cast iron. I highly recommend it. Make sure you guys season it first, meaning prepare it. As long as it's seasoned, you're good to go. So for the tacos, I just put a little cilantro, a nice creamy piece of avocado, our red pickled onions, and the sauce that I actually had left over from the other night that my wife made, which I'll actually make a video in the future for, so also stay tuned for that. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I sure as hell love this recipe. I'm hoping you guys definitely give it a try. It's super easy. Don't get intimidated, like I said, guys. I hope you enjoy. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, share. I'm trying to get this video to try to get to 1,000 views within its first week. Thank you, and I'm out.